Welcome back to the Lead Up Podcast, where we have conversations that move leaders forward. On today's episode, I probably say this every single time, but super excited. This guest, it's been a long time coming.
Sorry.
I would call him a legend here at the organization that I work at, or that he also worked at previously. Improve Your Tomorrow, also known as IYT, a college access program for young men of color. This is someone day one, year one, class one, back when IYT officially started at his alma mater, Valley High School. So without further ado, Alpha Sam, aka Sam Lauderdale.
Thank you, Renatto. I appreciate you for having me. It has been a long time coming. I know it's been some times where we were supposed to do it.
Yep.
Got pushed back.
But we made it happen, man.
We made it happen. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Just echoing what Renatto said, IYT Class 1, been a part of this thing since day one. Went to Valley High School, grew up in South Sacramento, single parent household.
Yeah.
You know, the story is pretty similar across the board with a lot of young men that come from that community, but that's what IYT is here to do, is change the outcome for those young men like myself with those stories.
Absolutely. And, you know, for today's conversation, we're going to obviously talk a lot about, you know, IYT, kind of your time there. Even now, even before we recorded, a lot of cool stuff that's happening, like a new build house, and
nice.
Obviously making 6 figures now, which is pretty nice. But I did this last time with Silver, and I want to make sure I do this correctly. I have some throwback pictures that I want you to give me a little live reaction that I didn't share with you before. Hopefully the camera can get this little bit.
Boys to men, look, what is...
So tell me, what is the initial reaction looking at some of those pictures of you and some of your brothers there?
Oh, God. I know I've gained about 100 pounds since this photo was taken, but it is very nostalgic. You know, I just actually touched base with one of the brothers, Brother Keelan.
Yes, another Class 1.
Class 1.
Yes.
You know, he's doing his thing. We're all grown now.
Yeah.
We established in our career pathways and, you know, doing things that make us stand out, you know, and continue to be role models in the community. So he had a child.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be revealing it.
Right.
He's on
number
number 2 now.
Keelan, if you're watching, he shared me, so congrats on, you know, if you know, you know, right?
Yeah, so he's on number 2, but me myself, I'm waiting a little bit longer before I start that process of having kids, you know, but it's good stuff that's happening with a lot of the alumni that went through the program. And it shows that if you stay true to the course, you know, no matter what the outside noise is, and you stay true to the program, then you're going to get good results
for sure
throughout your life.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk a lot of different stuff, definitely catch up, because I know we've had even just several interactions post Sac State, which is where we met most of the our time together through IYT. But let's go back in time, Valley High School. I even got to talk to your mom for a little bit, which I'll kind of drop some nuggets there. Shout out to Miss Donna.
It's funny because I stopped by the house last night and she was like, I promise I won't say nothing to embarrass.
She was great. So thank you for some of the insights, and she had some great things to share. But so bringing it back to, you know, high school days, pre kind of IYT, what was Sam Lauderdale like at that time? So think kind of freshman, sophomore year. I think that's right before IYT. Who was Sam at that time? What was he struggling with?
I think just now getting into high school, I was trying to find my crowd, because I had some friends that like Keelan, like Eli, Thaddeus, Tex, all those guys.
Yeah.
I had those guys that, you know, involved athletes doing good things already. Some of them still kind of trying to find their way just like I was, but then I had another friend group, not the most, how do I say this, on track. Kind of doing some stuff in the streets, and I was teetering. I was easily able to go either way. And I think IYT officially made us all come together and then stick to one cohesive friend group. So before IYT, I would say definitely, you know, just trying to find my way, you know, coming from a single parent household. You know, my mom always did her best. She worked extremely hard. But there are challenges in the economy when, you know, you're doing it all alone. And that's just, you know, a shout out to all the single mothers out there that are doing it, you know, trying to do their best to not only, you know, provide financially, but emotionally for the young boys in their household. And
for sure,
that's honestly the demographic that we serve a lot of the times. And, you know, it's definitely something where having those extra mentors in your life is going to put you back on track. And that's kind of what IYT did for me. So pre-IYT, I would say on the fence.
Kind of, okay.
Yeah. So very, very easily able to be influenced.
Yeah.
So, and I was able to find the right influences and then head down the trajectory that,
For sure.
I eventually went on.
Yeah. Could you paint kind of a little bit more of the context or the picture of, the South Sac community? Because I know there might be people that, again, that are from that community or from that area. They know what it's about. When you hear it, you know what's up. Someone that is not from Sacramento, but obviously living here for the past decade, and being at IYT, you hit up all the spots right throughout Sac, but obviously South Sac is where it started, right? IYT. So tell me kind of from your experience, for those that are not familiar with South Sac, like what does that mean to you?
Yeah, so the South Sac is nitty gritty. It's like everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
Sacramento is it's weird. It's like a big city, but everybody knows each other. So it's like small at the same time. So especially in South Sac, you got all the little, cliques and whatnot, gangs and whatnot that are doing their thing. And obviously growing up, you got the big homies, the little homies that maybe affiliated at the time. So that was the type of stuff I was looking at growing up. Which way should I go? Who should I affiliate with? That type of thing.
Yeah.
But I was always, coming from the household I came from, my mom was like, boy, I'll whoop your butt if you get involved in that type of stuff. So that was always in the back of my mind, on top of, the mentorship component later that came about in high school. But, there's some violence there, not the best influences. You go down the street, you see big dog selling drugs, and dude 50 years old, asking you for $1, and it's like, these are the quote unquote older people / leaders in our community.
Right. The
role models that we see on the day-to-day. So realistically speaking, without a program like IYT or any type of positive role models, that is the direction that a lot of young men have to look forward to. So it's unfortunate, but that was what I was seeing prior to IYT.
For sure. So let's jump into it. So like kind of let's go back in time a little again about like recall your IYT experience, like your exposure when you met the mics. I've heard different versions, but tell us your version from Sam's standpoint, from I think a sophomore at this time, right? At Valley. Like, what was the first introduction for IYT and meeting the Michaels?
I would say when I first met them, I was like, these guys probably make a lot of money.
Right, because they were suited and booted, right?
Suited and booted. I like the presentation.
Yeah.
It was very dapper, And just the fact that they were men of color, it really spoke to me, because just as we just touched on, like in the community, especially like South Sac, you don't see people moving like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is a little different. I'm gonna hear them out. You know? Like I said, I didn't know which way I was gonna go. Didn't think college was a route for somebody who didn't come from money. I didn't know about all the grants and all that stuff. But when they came to us with the idea of forever changing our lives, that really spoke to me, because I wanted something more for myself than what I saw in the community, essentially. And not only wanted more for myself, but I think it's important that once you do achieve, you find ways to give back. So the whole message, it just, was something that I really resonated with the whole time, and definitely thought that, okay, let me at least try this out, because I seen programs that came to Valley come and go. And something about that, and even when they had the initial meeting, I was like, this could be here for a long time. And I could be this person that's a part of something great. And the rest is history.
Was there a moment that you recall during your time in IYT, and let's just say as a student, because we'll talk about kind of when you get back as a mentor, but was there a time in your experience as a student where something just clicked for you, or just like you noticed like a shift about kind of like just how you thought about things, or just even saw the world differently? Just curious, did something click, or just something that comes to mind?
I think when I went on my first college trip with the Michaels is when it all like started to make more sense.
Where'd you guys go?
I think we just went to Sac State. Just a little trip to Sac State. And I'm like, but I had never had that type of presentation, because I've been on college trips before, like in like elementary and middle school, but it just seemed so far away. Now I'm in high school, and my next step is college, and then the way they present it, okay, this is what college is, these are professionals that have made their way at the colleges, or have gotten into a career field as a result of graduating from college. And these are people that look like us that are in these career pathways. So they just made the whole college presentation and field trip situation a lot more digestible and real for like a young person to see, okay, this is where you could be. I think that exposure is a big piece. Obviously the study hall component, which Michael, forgive me. There was one point.
Which Michael, just to be specific?
Michael Lynch.
Okay, Lynch. I wanted to give him benefit of the doubt, but Lynch.
Lynch, forgive me. There was a lot of times where me and him would go back and forth about me getting my assignments in. I used to struggle a lot in math. So that study hall component to help kids get up to par grade-wise, so they're meeting their A through G requirements, so they're even eligible to move on to the 4-year pathways. You know, critical for growth in the future. And he made sure, you know, I have 50 zeros in my algebra 2 class one time, and he's like, I'm gonna kick you out the program if you don't turn in your assignments. And just as like this is a real type punishment, he made me do 300 push-ups right then and there. He's like, if you don't do these 300 push-ups, I'm kicking you out today. And I did the push-ups, got my assignments in, we put in the performance plan, and you know, made sure I was eligible to go straight to a 4-year college.
That's funny.
Made it happen.
Year one, especially beginning stages of IYT, definitely push-ups. FYI, for those listening or watching, we don't do push-ups anymore. We have HR now. That's not allowed. That would have been a nightmare for Lynch and Casper back in the day. Funny enough, I don't know if you are aware, next week is the 13-year anniversary of IYT. So at this time of recording, we're just a few days away. So it is pretty cool just to even, you know, thinking in this moment, right? Obviously, for those that aren't seeing the background, there's a whole timeline of pictures, which, you know, there's a lot of pictures of Sam and other folks from back in the day. So it's a really cool moment, right? Just sitting down with you and kind of reflecting, and kind of going back to some of those shifts, right? The exposure. When did you kind of realize like you weren't like necessarily the same Sam when you first walked into IYT?
I think it was around senior year. Was when it all started to hit, like, you either going to a 4-year college, and even if I didn't, even if I just went to a 2-year, that's fine too. Because then you can transition and go to a 4-year after the fact. But it was senior year where it all started to seem real. Like I made majority of my A through G requirements. As a result of, like, you know, just showing up for study hall. I was an athlete too, so track and field, cross country, football, that stuff. So making sure that I was prepared for that application process senior year was when I realized, okay, this is, had I not put in the work to, you know, be ready, the senior year will look the whole start to the senior year will look a whole lot different. So I think that was the moment I realized this is real. My whole trajectory has changed. And it was, you know, just keep the progress up and stay the course, essentially. Don't do anything crazy to pivot from the direction we already established.
I know when I came in, I think it was 2016. So I think you were that was your senior year?
That was my freshman year of college.
Right. And that's when we connected at Sac State. And I know for me, one of the things that attracted me was the mission and just seeing guys like yourself, like Akeelan, that were part of the program, but now we're giving back. What was it for you that made that decision to, like, all right, I want to be a mentor now and give back to your alma mater, right? Like, I think you spent some time at Valley and
Jackman Valley.
So what kind of led you to, like, all right, this is my time to give back now?
I really thought about it, and I was like, okay, if I didn't have, you know, the mentors that I did, I probably wouldn't have went on the route that's like going straight to jail or anything, but I definitely wouldn't have had the level of success, you know, that I had going to IYT. But I was looking at it like, okay, Michael Lynch and Michael Casper, they both had their, you know, shared set of experiences going through Valley, you know, unique experience that when they brought it to the school to pitch the program initially, it spoke to us. Maybe I can do the same thing, you know, because I had different experiences than them, but I went through lived in the same area, went to the same school. I could bring that to, you know, the current students and see what we can do with that. I just want to be able to pay it forward to all the young men that are, you know, searching for a mentor, searching for, you know, like what's next in life. And ultimately that was why I wanted to become a mentor, just to, you know, be that shoulder that they could lean on and look for advice. Cause like I'm going through this process just like you. You're in the high school or middle school portion of the program. I know what it looks like to be in the college portion.
Right.
So I've already went through the high school, so I can tell you exactly what it looks like to fail in certain areas or succeed. And if you're making a mistake, you know, just being in the same community, doing certain things, you know. So it was a very eye-opening experience for me. And I think honestly, being a mentor for IYT has shaped like my professionalism for my whole career. Like, even post IYT mentor, you know, doing my thing there, enterprise, AAA, all that good stuff. Just being a servant leader and showing up for those around you has really helped me like across every aspect of my life.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that, especially when it comes to the mistakes, the failures. I know, at least in my experience, I don't know if you feel this way, but you know, the idea of being a mentor is like, yeah, that sounds great. Like the role model, I can guide people. But when you're in it, there's like, you get a different level of insight of like, dang, this is like I was just here, but it's like, I haven't dealt with some of these challenges that some of these brothers or students are experiencing. But that's part of the growth, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything? Yeah, it sounds like something came to mind.
Yeah. So when it comes to like just witnessing and being a mentor is not all like rainbow and sunshines, especially in the community that we do it in. You know, so it's like you see some of the stuff that's like heartbreaking to watch, where you have a student who lost his mom or something like that, or families going through homelessness and trying to navigate that while going to school, or maybe, you know, a lot of family members are involved in gang situations and, you know, trying to navigate that while being a student. And when you got family, you go home, they're pulling you in one direction and then we're trying to pull you in another, just so you don't have that reality that they're having, you know. It's tough because you really have to be a real person. And it's not just a job at that point. It's like you have to be able to relate to people and motivate. And you have to be able to lead by example too. I think one thing that I've tried to be good at in my life is like, even now that I'm not, you know, a direct employee of IYT and being a mentor, if somebody was to put a microscope on my life, they wouldn't see anything that's like unsavory. You know, it's like I try to always be a role model to my community. And, you know, I'm not having any scandals. I'm not getting fired from a bunch of jobs and just hopping around. Like, I want somebody to be like, okay, this is what Sam did. He's
doing it the right way, right? Or as best as, you know,
as best as I can. So it's like, I can't be a hypocrite. Like when I'm giving advice to the young men. And even when I was in college, like I would make sure I'm showing up to my classes and stuff like that. I changed my major a bunch of times, but that's a story for another day. But other than that, you know, showing up to my classes, doing my work, coming to a Valley High or Jackman, whatever the day needed, and then making sure I'm like there, like, not only physically but like mentally, for the brothers, to make sure that like I'm giving them 100% effort.
For sure.
And that's what I expect of them when they go through their day. Like whatever task it is, like all I ask is that you give 100% effort. And that effort might look different day in, day out. Like one day you might not be feeling too well, something might went on, but whatever your 100% is that day, just give it that.
For sure.
That's all I'm asking.
Any success stories you can think of, or any brothers that like come to mind, like, yeah, this guy was rough, but you know, he made it, like, I don't know if you have any that come to mind.
I do want to, I'm trying to think.
Right, you're not trying to leave anybody else. Like,
it's so many of them. Like, I think one of them that really spoke to me was about a year or two ago, when I was still living in Sacramento. Me and my girl, we went to go get, and it's not like a traditional like success story. It's more so like I seen growth in this individual. His name's Chris. I won't say his last name just in case. Like,
I got.
But essentially, he was a student that in high school, I knew him since middle school, and he was at Jackman. He was a knucklehead, and whenever I told him to do something that would benefit him, he would like always have something to say back. Like, dog, I'm telling you this for your benefit. I've been through it. I know what it looks like, and I know what the outcome will be. So Chris used to always be hard-headed, you know, not doing stuff on time, not doing what he needed to do. And then he had this thing where he wanted to try to be someone he wasn't in front of his peers. And that's something that a lot of our young men, like, they fall into that trap of trying to present
Yeah.
a certain type of way to fit a stereotype
Yeah.
that they deem as cool or whatever it may be. He eventually ended up having a kid in high school, like towards the end of his high school career. I believe he went to CRC like right out of high school,
Okay.
but kind of teetering between like working and then like going to school. But just to wrap the story up, I saw him. It was like at a drive-through like oil change spot.
Okay.
And I didn't look at this kid as like ever being able to hold down a job because of the way he was like presenting in high school. I'm like, you got to there's certain things you need to get together before I feel like you're responsible enough to, you know, hold down a job, take care of your kid, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But he was at the oil change spot and he was like, you know, calling the shots like,
wow,
hey, you guys, we need this, we need that. And then he came in, he did the oil change for me and my girl. And then he didn't recognize me at first. And then like at the end, I was like, Chris. He's like, oh, what's up, Mr. Sam, blah, blah, blah. And then we just start catching up and he was just telling me how he was taking care of his kids, you know, holding down a job, trying to get back in school. I told him to relink with IYT, all that good stuff. But just seeing him on, you know, being the present father and then obviously making those sacrifices for his kids. That's the biggest part. Like, even if you don't go down the traditional, like, I'm going to college, graduate, and get a career type pathway, there is still success, you know, and that's kind of where IYT comes into place. So we can, you know, obviously steer you towards the path that could be the most successful, but not everybody's going to fall into that, to that same pot. So for those, we have to recognize when there is success outside of that pathway and then bring them back if there is an opportunity to. But I definitely shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
He's doing his thing and trying to, you know, hold his family together and take care of his kids.
That's great.
That's a hardworking man right there.
No, for
Went from a boy to a hardworking man.
And I think that's I mean, outside of IYT, right? We know whether young men or young boys have an IYT or not, like, at some point they're getting older, right? They're gonna do something, right? Like you said, whether it's college or going to work or trying to figure it out, like we all are at some point in our lives. But that is, at least from my standpoint now, almost being here 10 years, is like, that's what I always think about. It's like, this 6th or 7th grader is a young boy right now, but at some point they're gonna be a young man. And like, there's something that we can do with the time that we have and what we have capacity to do. Because again, something and you probably learned this, like, can't save everybody, but I can show up to do my best, whatever my best is, and to know that I've done something for this guy, whether he stays with us or not, right? But I'm glad to hear someone like Chris and other people like Chris.
And I got plenty of more stories.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
But it was always great, you know, just being able to be a part of their life. And then even now, like, way removed from being a mentor for IYT, and I still got like some of the brothers that I have on social media. I still game with a few of them, so we'll hop on the sticks, they'll update me. And I always like, okay, this is what I see you could do. Like, for example, we're talking about Demaje before the podcast. How he's in a situation where he's working at a few jobs, you know, Target, stuff like that, wants to get into an actual career pathway. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the insurance industry now. If you get your property and casualty license, you can either work for a big insurance company like a, you know, State Farm, Progressive, AAA, whatever it may be, or you could become a broker and work independently. So there's a lot of routes that you could go. It's just about providing that information for them, because a lot of people don't know.
It's true.
Like, even people that are not, you know, part of the Black, brown community, they might not know about different resources as time goes on, you know, but that's why we're here.
And I know we're gonna get into it about like kind of what you do now and some of this, like, kind of the news that you're sharing me about what's a move that you're making right now. But before we get to the insurance, because I know, so post-Sac State, you graduate, right? He made it through college, even though several major changes. We didn't know he was gonna make it, but he made it. So tell me, like, what did you do right after Sac State? I know we had our paths cross through Enterprise, but like, tell me about like jumping right from college into the workforce. Like, again, at that point, you fully transitioned out of IYT, right? Like, tell me that post kind of IYT, post college journey. Like, how was that for you? Like, what did you do?
So immediately after college, it was unique. It was a unique situation how it ended, because my contract with AmeriCorps ended at the same time that I graduated. And it didn't make sense for me to renew because I knew like afterwards I was gonna, like I took my experience from IYT being a mentor, director, all that stuff, and then going to like the professional world, and like I knew I wanted to get into something like salesy, like dealing with people. So I just didn't know what companies. I didn't know what were good companies and what the offers were out there. So I just started applying to a bunch of places, and then I put out an application for Enterprise, the Enterprise Rent a Car. They renamed it Enterprise Mobility, and pretty much it was for the management trainee position. Donovan Davis, he's the head of the recruiting for Group 30. That's like the northern/central California region. He reached out to me, and I actually ignored him for like a week. I didn't ignore him on purpose though. I just didn't see it. I get a lot of text messages like every day. So it's like sometimes it's hard, like it's easy to miss stuff. So like one day I was just going through all my text messages, just making sure like I didn't miss anything. And then I hit him back and I was like, is this opportunity to interview for the Arden Way branch still open? And he was like, yes. So we got on the phone screening. He really liked me. From there, I went on to the first in-person interview, and that was with Shane Jones. He's the area manager for Area F for Enterprise Group 30. Cool dude. Him and Michael Lynch, they have a relationship, and
of course
we were able to get some money from Enterprise. Fast forward just a little bit. I think it was like $10,000 in 2022. Me and Shane were in the SAC Observer just highlighting the program, the partnership. And I think in 2024, 2025, we got another like $3,500 or something like that.
Wow.
But pretty much went to my first in-person interview with Shane, and then he loved me. We started talking about football, all that type of stuff, and also talked about IYT. And I think one of the reasons why he hired me is just the fact that, being from a community like South Sac, I have a unique experience to bring to the professional world. I can speak a language that, somebody that is from a different demographic might not be able to speak, and that could touch a certain customer base. And he saw that opportunity to, leverage that and, give me an opportunity to show what I'm capable of. So he sent me to the next interview. There was one last in-person interview, and it was at the store that was hiring. Robert Walden and Malik Hill, they were the hiring managers at the time. And, I just kind of repeated what I said to Shane, and Shane is their boss. They love me, and then they hired me from there. And I went on to do great things, passed the management trainee, because it's meant to be like anywhere between 9 to 12 months as a management trainee, and then you become a management assistant. Once you pass your management trainee exam, it's called the grill. I think you gotta get like a 90% or better to pass, but it's like a 5-hour in person.
So at this point, there's a lot of like interviews, and testing.
So pretty much.
And just sorry to cut you off, but at this point, because I know you mentioned like you were just applying as you're going through this specific process, are you thinking like, dang, am I really doing this? Like, if that makes sense?
So like, I think, because
there's a reason I'm asking, so go ahead.
I was always told when you're looking for jobs, go with an industry leader. And Enterprise is by far an industry leader in their respective space. So when it comes to like revenue, Enterprise, they produce about $40 to $50 billion a year. When you look at the second place in the space.
How much did you get from that?
We're not gonna talk about
right. Off the pod, we'll talk.
But when you look at the second place in the space, which is Hertz, they produce anywhere between $7 to $10 billion. So it's not even,
so that's a big difference.
Okay, I'm gonna work for the company that's more likely to pay me. That's why I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's the company with more money. So
at that point, it was kind of just focused on, all right, they're a top dog. Maybe it wasn't what I originally thought, but at this point, you're like, all right, this could be a good opportunity.
Exactly. And I heard about the management trainee program from a bunch of different professionals. And they were saying that, okay, even if it's not like a long-term thing, it does look really good on your resume. But my performance ended up making it a longer term thing than I initially thought. So first year management trainee, knocked it out the park. I went to what they call excellence a few times. I think it was like 3 or 4 times. and that's like top 10.
Okay.
In group.
Oh, that's great.
In northern part of Group 30, which is like Sacramento, Greater Sacramento region. And then I was what they call top half, which is like above 50% of all the staff and the management trainees in that section. So I was at every month as a management trainee. So it was pretty good run. And then I had some situations where they were like, Sam is just a killer, and they knew I was ready for management.
Yeah.
So
was it natural for you at this point, or
it was
like because again, like just even before, right? Again, like I'm thinking you just took an opportunity, you kind of passed everything that you need, and then you're killing it, right? So like what contributed to that? Or what do you think? Yeah.
I think just knowing that like I come from a place where like people look up to me. Like I have young men that so if they wanted to go down the same path, do they have a mentor in this space that they could come talk to? And that was something. And also I'm very competitive. I'm a big gamer, so like I don't like to lose to people. So that having that type of
that competitive edge.
Exactly. Also being an athlete, that competitive edge definitely translates well. Yeah. And Enterprise is notorious for hiring ex-athletes.
Oh, interesting.
People with that type of background, A-type personality, obviously. Not everybody has to fit that, but the majority, it translates well. So did really well. I did so well that most people once you pass your grill exam and you're a management trainee, you automatically become a management assistant. Okay. And you're typically a management assistant from anywhere from 6 months to a year before you become an assistant branch manager. Wow. I got my assistant branch spot instantly. Wow. Like literally I passed my exam. Wow. And was an assistant.
So how much time has passed at this point?
This is about only a year.
Only 1 year? So you were expediting a lot of different things.
Yeah, so I became an assistant branch manager in a year.
Wow.
So skipped the MA phase, management assistant phase, and went straight to, having my
And how old are you at this time?
I was probably like 23 or 24.
Wow.
Yeah. So freshly graduated college. It took me longer than it should have.
Yeah, right.
But
we know. I was there.
It was quite the experience,
Yeah.
But it was cool. And honestly, Enterprise is a very good start to your career, no matter what pathway you end up going down, because it builds character and it builds professionalism. Yeah. There's stuff that like I learned working for Enterprise that you could never take away from me. Like no matter where I decide to pivot, like I'll always have the skill set to keep going. Yeah. Work hard, obviously, and be solution oriented. Yeah. For not only my team, but for my customers, members who walk through the door. Oh yeah. And all that stuff is super important.
You gotta be on your toes in Enterprise.
You gotta be able to think fast when you got 50 reservations and you got 10 cars. Right. You gotta have a yes mentality and grow your fleet. That's what we talk about when we think about who's next up for a branch spot or a level 2 position. So after I did well in because I did well as an assistant branch manager, also, turned that around by the time I had promoted from there to be what they call a level 2 sales consultant. Okay.
Is that when you did the fleet thing?
That's when I sold cars. Okay. Yeah, I went from the rental car division to the car sales division of Enterprise. They have about 6 or 7 different divisions.
You see what he did?
So they have the rental, car sales, fleet management, truck rental. They have like the corporate route, and then one more that I can't think of at the top of my head. But after that, by the time I left the Power M branch, you rented for me a few times. Yeah. Had a few IYT brothers rent for me a few times. Yeah. Hopefully it was a great experience.
Great. I mean, I know you're explaining kind of even the breakdown of like kind of the infrastructure and the ecosystem. Yeah. Because like for people like Enterprise, like you just doing the rental cars, like no, there's actually more to that, right? And again, because that's not an industry that I was familiar with, but I think because we had a relationship and I just saw you, I'm like, oh, you moving up. Yeah. Right.
And then the cool thing too is like when other companies, and that'll tie into what I'm going to say a little bit later, but when other companies see Enterprise on your resume, and then they see that you stuck with them and you consistently moved up, that's big. Yeah. That's because they know it's like the military.
I got
like they have a script.
Right. If you could do this
and you stuck with it and you promote it and top performer, then
speaks a lot,
let's talk. Let's have a conversation. But I moved from that to level 2 car sales consultant. I did that. It was cool selling cars. You know, I sold a decent amount of cars, made some good money, but I felt like the schedule for me was where I started to have like, it started to get to me in the sense of where I don't know if this is something I can keep up long term.
I gotcha.
Because like for me, I'm all about the prospect of, you know, having, you know, making good money, work-life balance, and then also having opportunities for promotion. And the promotional route in the car sales division, it didn't excite me. Like there was good money, don't get me wrong, the money was great, but like the hours and stuff you got to deal with, the stress,
for sure,
it just was like, for me, not it. So that's when I decided to pivot from level 2 car sales consultant. Helped a bunch of people out, by the way. I think people get the wrong idea about all car salespeople. Yeah. But I think with Enterprise, they do have a great.
You're definitely
structure.
the best that I've encountered. So.
I appreciate it. I think the structure that Enterprise has is very great. And the reason why I say that, not just because I work for them, is the fact that it's needs-based selling. So I'm not going to try to sell you a car that's nowhere near in your budget. We're only going to look at cars that you can afford. So when people come in, you know, you're getting their whole profile. Hello, how are you doing? How can I help today? You know, you sit them down, and there's some questions that you always ask them. We'll put some in the market. A lot of the people who bought cars from us, they were in the market because they had an accident and their car was totaled out. Or they might just be looking for the next car for their daughter who's going to college, whatever it may be. But typically speaking, just because we're getting a lot of our referrals, it was a referral-based business. We're getting a lot of referrals from like rental branches, credit unions like Golden One, Schools First, shout out to them. They sold me a lot of cars. Who else? Noble Credit Union in the Central Valley, a bunch of them. Safe, all those guys. And it would definitely be a situation where, you know, they're handing us off, and then they speak to, one, we don't haggle. This is a no haggle environment, so we set the price the lowest we can. We typically beat out majority of the market, and then you don't have to spend 3-4 hours negotiating. I mean, you don't have to guess the price. When you go look at the car, all the prices are listed. It's not going to change. So if you don't like the car, you don't got to buy it. If you don't like the price, you don't got to buy it. So we don't have those type of conversations. It's more so like, can you afford this car? What's your credit situation looking like? If you're financing, how much of a down payment are you putting down? When people tell me those things, I immediately know if I can sell them a car based on the inventory I have. So it's a very systematic approach. It's not just out there, you know, talking just to talk to see if you can sell somebody a car. It's a very systematic approach where if I ask 6 questions, I know within 10 minutes if I'm wasting my time with a client or not. So that's a skill set that will take me far in any sales position, because time is money in the sales world. So it's like, if you're wasting it, you know, you got 100, 200 calls a day to make, it's not a good, it's not a good thing, you know? So you got to manage your activity level, manage your emotions, because there are ups and downs. There's months, I think there was a month where I think I grossed like 3K, and then there was a month where I grossed like 10K. Wow. So it's like there's ups and downs. It fluctuates in sales. So you definitely got to be ready for that roller coaster. You know? For sure. So then once I was like, I'm done with the roller coaster. That's kind of when what brought me to the job market, updated my LinkedIn, and, you know, fast forward, now I'm at AAA as an assistant branch manager. So there's 5 core components of what we do. There's membership satisfaction. You know, you always want your score above corporate average at every time. There is the property and collision insurance metric that we have to hit. So I have 3 agents in my branch. Our goal for the year is $2.5 million in property and collision. Then I have membership acquisition. So we're supposed to be getting a certain amount of memberships per year to constitute that growth that's supposed to happen. Obviously, and then credit cards. There's a certain amount of credit cards we have to do per year. And then there's one more, I believe it's smart home. So we do the smart home security systems. And so I actually, for my house that I'm purchasing, we'll talk more about that. I'm going to get one set up. It's pretty cool. We do all that, you know, making sure all parts of the branch are where they need to be. And that's kind of why AAA hired me. They're changing the direction on what type of organization they want to be. And to continue to serve members in the best light,
Yeah.
You know, because Enterprise is a for-profit company. AAA is a not-for-profit, which is slightly different than like an IYT that's a non-profit.
Could you explain just real quick of the difference, like how you would break it down?
So I work for 3 types of companies. A for-profit is we're trying to make money. That is our goal. Like we're trying to make money. We obviously want to help customers out, and that's an enterprise.
Yeah.
A nonprofit like IYT, we don't sell a product. We're helping people out, and donations go a long way to continuing the mission. A not-for-profit like AAA, there are services that are being utilized all for the benefit of the members. So the goal is to make as much money as possible so we can put it back into the products that our members have access to and benefit from. So there is a product there, a AAA, but essentially it gets like this.
Right, just how it's leveraged is different.
So you get better coverages when you have a membership, you get better roadside. The apps track where your vehicle's located better, so you're not on the phone with the tow guy trying to direct them, blah, blah, blah. They automatically know just if you have the app installed on your phone is geolocation, stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool thing, and it's something like that, since it's so member focused, is a lot easier to, you know, offer to a customer. I wouldn't say pitch, I would say offer.
I like that.
Because of the fact that it's value added versus like when I was selling cars. Obviously, if they need a car, cool, it's within their budget, cool. But some of like the back end stuff is like, I don't know if you need that. I'm gonna still offer it. I don't know if you need it though, but if you do get it,
I got you. Right.
Great. So, but when it comes to AAA, everything is like value added. There's no product that is like more or less. It's just a matter of what you need for your household. So I think that's a pretty cool structure. And then me having that hardcore, like if you don't sell, you don't eat type background, but then also having that, you know, the people skills of knowing when to offer or how to offer in a conversation. I think for me as a salesperson, like you got to know, like you got to build rapport with your client.
For sure.
You have to earn the right to ask for the business. And then on top of that, you have to make your offer relevant to their situation. There's not a one size fits all. And that's what I tell my team all the time. Like, you don't offer.
Oh, so you manage a team?
Yeah, I manage a team.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have about 11 employees right now.
Wow.
So 3 insurance agents, 1 travel agent.
Wow.
I have about 5 membership experience associates.
Sheesh.
A generalist, which is another manager.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit higher up on the.
Is that like a normal amount?
For a branch my size, there's bigger branches. Like
gotcha.
I know assistant branch managers at AAA that have like 20 employees.
Wow.
Yeah, but since I'm new, obviously I'm not gonna put me at the biggest branch. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm doing my thing, you know, trying to find my way. It's a little bit different structure than Enterprise though, because Enterprise is very like. Everybody starts at the same position. So if you're a manager at Enterprise, you know how to do all the people who are under you's job. At AAA, it's not structured that way. Like you can be a manager, but I don't need to know how to do the insurance agent's job. I don't need to know how to do the member experience associate's job. I just need to know how to rally a team and get them focused on the goals that matter.
Got it. Now, so it's not so much of knowing the specific areas, but having the main skill set of rallying the team regardless of the area that they're covering.
Exactly. So
that's dope. Was that different for you?
It was, because I'm so used to just like
knowing,
like my employees can't tell me anything because I've already done your job and I've done it at my level. So it's like, that was the environment that I'm familiar with. So I'm actually taking that same approach with AAA, where like I'm learning every bit of the office. So it's like, if we're having a one-on-one and we're talking about performance and how to enhance that performance, if we're not up to speed, then this is what it looks like. And I know it looks this way because I know how to sell and I've done your job. So I put myself through like going through like the DMV transactions, because we offer DMV services. So you're not, that's a great marketing thing for AAAs, because like instead of waiting like an hour or 2 at the DMV with an appointment, you go in AAA like in and out 5 minutes. So, and on top of that, like it gives us the opportunity to, hey, did you know you could add on your wife, your kid, the membership? It follows them regardless of the vehicle that they're in. You know, you get all these discounts, travel benefits, all this good stuff. So opportunity to cross sell. So
that's dope.
And when I'm telling them to have conversations, I'm like, and when I have the conversations with members, my ears perk up when they say certain things like, oh, we drive a lot, blah, blah, blah. Oh, if you drive a lot, we got this 5% cash back on our AAA credit card. You know, this is a great opportunity.
Man, you're dropping a lot of promos. AAA might have to sponsor this, man. Added value, right?
Added value, added benefit. You know, that's what you get when you have a Mr. Lauderdale on the team. But no, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool experience, and I feel like I'm leveling up every day.
That's awesome.
And I'm just glad that this is the pathway that I decided to take, because as I get older, things start to be less focused on money and more about the time you can spend with your family and your loved ones.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's becoming more important.
Yeah.
To me, is like, obviously, like I still make good money.
Of course, yeah.
Like just having that extra free time that I didn't have before, you know, is more critical than the opportunity time.
No.
Because when I was selling cars, like I knew guys making $200,000-$300,000 a year doing that. So
yeah,
I could have made it to that level, but is it worth the time constraint?
For sure.
That's, you know,
and that's just like, not to go too far back, but just because you're mentioning again, like that transition from the level 2 that you're at in enterprise to the jump, like again, it was clear to some degree the money was fine, right? But either the balance, work balance, or just the things that you were experiencing, that wasn't hitting for you.
No,
and I think that's important, right? Because you know, especially for going back to even the young men that we serve, right? The money is usually the first thing that comes out, right? Especially if like college is not in their front of mind, or, you know, even for guys that want to go, like even now, right? With all the stuff social media wise, and I want to be like an old head saying social media, but a lot of the things that are either being portrayed or seen, it is, you know, get your bag. And I think there's some truth to that, but it's maybe how people go about it or what they think about it. It's not always the case, right?
Yeah, I would agree there, because like it depends on what's important to you in life. As you get older,
your values,
priorities might change. So as I get older and I start to have more of an emphasis on like family and spending time with people, because I felt like I neglected, like in my grinding phase, I feel like as a young man, you need a grinding phase.
How old are you right now, Sam?
I turned 29 this year in September.
Not even in your 30, bro. You're killing the game.
28 right now.
I love it.
But I feel like every young man needs a grinding phase.
Yeah.
Like whether that be 2, 3, 4, I feel like mine was about 5 to 6 years. But that is going to help level you up and is going to change your life generationally. So for example, just the whole process, you know, of graduating college is one of those things where you lock in for a few years, and, you know, it's not a guaranteed path to success, but what it does do is it increases your odds. And that's something that I have terrible luck. So let's increase the odds and, you know, work hard, you know, control the tangibles and do what we can do to have a better life outcome. Yeah. So for example, even an opportunity like an enterprise, you can't even work as an office customer facing staff for an enterprise without a college degree. Oh, wow. So people go, oh, I don't need a degree. I don't need a degree. But it's like one of those things that, okay, you're basically shutting yourself out of a lot of opportunities and opportunities for advancement at different companies where that is a relevant thing that they look at. And they're going to do their background search on it. And with AI being able to scan all this stuff, you don't want to, you know, snub yourself out of an opportunity just because you didn't have a piece of paper. For sure. Me personally, I'm going to at least get the bachelor's out the way. Now, I know you got your master's, was it? Congrats, brother. Congrats. I want to go on to do that. I just don't know if I have the attention span for it.
You know, I got you, man.
I always am a proponent of like furthering your education.
Absolutely.
Because what it does do, like one thing that going to college does do is it teaches you how to stick with something.
Yeah, that is very true.
So you're not just jumping around careers or whatever.
And if you're like Ziva, you stick with it for 7 years.
Shout out Ziva.
Shout out Ziva. We love you, bro.
I love that guy.
Yeah. I just saw him. That's why I always tease him about that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely something that it teaches you. And I feel like the young man can learn a lot about going through that experience. Yeah. And then it sets the tone for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think ultimately that's what college taught me. Yeah. You know, regardless of what people say about college or its value in the current state of society, you know, I always think that that's something that, regardless of what kind of degree you go for, obviously you should go with an idea in mind of how you can leverage your degree.
Yeah.
I think for me, I pivoted because I started as an engineer major.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
I went to business.
You quickly changed it after that.
sociology. But it was just so much. It was so much to do. Like, well, you know, being a mentor in the community.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a different game in college, yeah.
Man, it's a lot to be able to navigate, especially if you're working.
Yeah,
So if you know that's your dynamic, pivot to a degree that can be general, like a business, like a communications. If you don't know what you want, if you don't want to go into like a hard like engineering, computer science, doctor, lawyer type, switch to something generic that is very, how do I say it, flexible. Yeah. And that's why I did communications, because I know like in every job, there's somebody that needs to communicate.
Yeah. And articulate better in that, right? Yeah.
And, I was like, I'm doing way better in my classes here than I was doing in engineering.
Yeah, the stress level went way down.
Yeah, so it was cool.
As we start kind of landing the plane here a little bit, I know you I think you briefly touched on it, but tell me some of the, before we came on the pod, you got some cool news about a new build that's coming pretty soon.
Yeah, your boy is about to be a homeowner.
Crazy.
So.
First one, right?
First one in my immediate family.
Gotcha.
I believe my mom did have a home in the past, but it burned down. Okay. So it was one of those things where, you know, now we're reestablishing that homeowner ideology in the family. Yeah. And it's going to continue for generations to come. Awesome. So
congrats, man. That's huge.
Thank you. So it's
does it feel weird? Does it feel like is this really happening?
I feel like, have you ever heard the term like, we're the new adults?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't feel like it's real that like I'm an adult now and I'm gonna be a homeowner. Because I was just talking to Keelan about this before I came here. I was like, when I was 18, I was like, yeah, I'm an adult now. But I was like, no, we're about to be paying a mortgage, doing home improvement, all that stuff. So it's like, it's cool. It's cool. And it's definitely something that when you prepare the right way, you know, you put yourself in position to win and have these type of opportunities. Versus like, if the preparation is not there, then odds, like we talked about with the whole college process, are just a lot lower. Yeah. And we want to increase our odds across the board.
I love that.
Honestly, like what I want for everybody around me, young men, people in the community, you know, whoever it may be, like just increase your odds of success. So, you know, it's tough out here. Living life is tough. So it's like, you don't want to make it tougher on yourself, you know?
2 more quick questions for you, Sam. The first one, what are you still learning right now? Like where you are now with AAA, getting ready to move into, like, what are you still either learning about yourself and just in life?
I used to be a lot more, how do I say it, quick to speak when I was younger, versus I'm learning like patience and like just being more like ready to do the work and get better every day. Yeah. Especially like in my personal life, stuff like that. So, just knowing that I'm not like perfect, because like I'm the type of person like I won't do something unless it's perfect or near perfect. Yeah. But like just starting to realize like even this whole house process. Yeah. I didn't want to. My girl Amanda, we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna propose and get married to her pretty soon.
Okay. Does she know this?
She knows. She knows.
So we don't get the.
It's not a bomb. Right. It's coming. Okay. But it's one of those things where like I was waiting to like get some more money saved, you know, get credit up a little bit more, all that good stuff, before I started the process, like essentially trying to be as perfect as possible before I move forward with it. And we found this good deal that was just like, you know what? Yeah. Screw it. Let's just get it started. And even if we don't get approved for it, we at least know what we need. Yeah, that's good. You know, so like, just disregarding the notion of being perfect, showing up for myself every day, and realizing how important like time is. Yeah, I think those are things that, as I get older, being more intentional. That's great. I would say that is a summary of like everything, just being more intentional on all actions.
I love that. Last question here: if someone listening feels stuck or uncertain right now, what's one specific action they can take to regain momentum?
I would say if you're feeling stuck at the moment, you know, just believe in yourself and the ability that you can, and then that you have the opportunity. You're like obviously alive, able to do and function, a
Yeah.
healthy person. If you're able-bodied, then you have that opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing that I realized when I was younger is that nobody's gonna do it for me,
Yeah.
especially like coming from the type of community I came from. Like nobody's gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you fail.
Yeah.
So obviously, like there are people who care if you fail, but like if you ask a random stranger who doesn't know you,
Yeah.
and you start telling them your problems or whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
they're not like, who cares? It's America. Like, do your thing and succeed, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, me, you, like, it's one of our brothers. We're gonna
Yeah.
lend an ear, hear out their situation, see where we can help. But do what you can, maximize your time
Yeah.
as efficiently as possible if you feel like you're struggling. Because I always look at it like this, especially like if somebody's like depressed or you know, feeling sad about the way their life is going.
Mm-hmm.
If you made small changes every day and ultimately it added up to one, like let's say, you know, you're trying to have a weight loss goal or stack up some money or whatever it may be, or, you know, just move forward in your career. If you're doing all those things day by day, do you think in 2-3 years from now, are you still going to be depressed or sad about whatever situation?
Yeah.
Most people will say no.
Yeah.
So because it's improvement, and people feel sad or depressed typically because there's an area of their life where it's not living up to the expectation that they feel like it should be. So
For sure.
that would be my recommendation to people who are feeling like stuck or they can't proceed in the way that they want to.
Yeah, that's great. One last thing I want to not ask, but just mention, as like I said, I talked to your mom recently.
Mama Dukes.
Which great conversation. And just wanted to kind of echo some things, but you know, she was just saying how proud and grateful she is for you and just how you took upon yourself that leadership, going all the way back to joining IYT, being a mentor, what you're doing now. She's so proud of you. And you know, one thing that she, you know, I asked her, like, what would she tell other parents, right? Is to let go of any fears, right? Because you know, she mentioned multiple times, now you mentioned my mom being a single parent, right? So I resonated with that. It's not easy, right?
No,
and
not.
it kind of, and it's funny, my sisters ask all the time, or she's just like, Mom, how did you do it, right? And it's like, how did she, right? And it's crazy. I may never understand that, but I'm glad for the sacrifices. I'm glad to hear all the great stuff that's happening in your life, Sam. Truly proud of you and excited for what the future holds, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And definitely shout out to my mom, because honestly, IYT is great and all, but the foundation that she set, you know, it was something that always echoed in my mind whenever I was going to make a dumb decision before IYT, even during IYT and, you know, after graduating from, anytime I feel like I'm going to fall short, I always remember, you know, her, what she would think, you know, and then also things that I want to do for, you know, my current family, her included, and then my future family. So that those are things that whenever I feel like I'm gonna fall short, I remember, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get it together.
Just so good. Thank you again for the time.
Appreciate it.
We may have to do a part 2 in the new build at some point with the AAA safety safe house sponsors available.
Yes,
if you're listening,
we got to do that.
Yeah, but appreciate the time, Sam.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you all for tuning in. Catch you in the next episode.
Yes, sir.